had no power running to the mics.
Are we good now?
Sorry about that. I'm on the wrong. Thanks for letting us know. I did not look to the audio. Yay, we have sound. How's it going, everybody?
Oh, my Lord.
Let me pull this up. How's everything sounding? How's everything looking? Maybe, Joe, will you scooch over maybe just a little bit so my head doesn't have to be cut off by the chat. I want the chat in there, but I don't want it to be too small.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry if I sound winded. We put our child down for the night, and a smoke detector in our studio office started beeping, and it is high enough that even my tall ass was many feet short. So I had to run to the store and get a ladder because our neighbors didn't have a ladder. It was on loan. So I'm glistening. I'm a little hot. Jordan, how are you while I was gone? It's out there. There's a second one that I just
now there's another one going
to.
off. Oh my God, I swear.
I'm gonna lose it, honestly. I'm not doing okay.
This has been such a disaster. Oh my God. And
wait, you still hear the smoke detector? It's the one in the hallway. I'm gonna close the door. I like to have it open for
turn
echoing purposes.
Some airflow on in here. Because it is stale in here. Oh my God. Okay. Anywho, thank you for participating in the disaster that has been our evening.
It is our life.
The one in the hallway is probably the one that you can hear. We shut the door. Hopefully you can't hear it anymore. We turned the fan on for a second. If it's too loud, let us know.
This is a disaster.
Oh my God.
Love it.
We used to do this every night, and then we do it one time, and we're fucked.
I don't know if anybody remembers or was there for the TikTok live days, but yeah, we used to do this all the time. You're glowing as if. Thank you, Tracy.
Oh my God. So yeah, I posted a video on our Instagram stories so you can see the height of the smoke detector, but it is no joke. It is way the F up there. Like, we have really high ceilings.
For like no good reason either.
No.
Makes no sense.
Oh my God.
We're getting the kinks out.
Okay. Hello.
Let's see here.
Join the club of a rough day. I'm sorry, friends. I'm sorry. Today was rough.
Today has not been great.
It's been a long freaking day over here.
It's still going. It's in a place right next to the stairwell.
Are you sure?
So I'm positive.
Oh my God.
I'm like low key terrified to go and.
It's right outside of our son's room.
Well, it's right by the stairs, so I didn't have the courage to get up there right now. Why can't I see the chat here? Do I have to go in?
You have to go to the public one because it doesn't come up on there.
That's stupid. Oh, wait. I'm not even looking at the right one, I don't think.
Anywho, what is up, friends? I am reading chat now. Let's see.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
All right. Nothing can stop your live. Lord in heaven, Satan has really gotten in the way of this work, or at least tried to today.
I know.
But it ain't happening.
God. It was God. I was pulling back into our apartment complex, God. And there were missionaries that were walking to their car.
If we weren't streaming, I would have gone and flagged them down.
Honestly.
And invited them in.
We could have had them on stream.
We could have had them participate.
That would have been cool, honestly.
Okay, let's see. I got into college today. Danielle, congratulations.
Hell
That's
yeah.
freaking amazing.
Snaps to that. Have we ever watched Stranger Things? No.
We do not.
Never seen it. I do like that one song that's been going viral from Katie. I don't remember her name.
We watch the same shit all the time.
We literally do
rarely ever
nothing
expand.
new ever.
So
Never ever anything new.
Yes.
Let me
Okay.
pull this up here.
Pop your hand to the square and that'll fix the smoke detector.
Boom!
Command you.
I command
Satan
you in the
to
name
depart.
of Jesus Christ.
Hi, Crystal.
Mormon no more.
We have not watched it. I am like in social circle aware of the two women that were like the whole point of the documentary, and they seem like really nice people, so we need to watch it. Bluey call out. We're here for Bluey.
I think we did talk about the Book of Mormon musical one time, maybe. But it was a while ago, and we've never seen it. I've only heard some of the music. I've never listened to all of it. Have you listened to all the music?
No. I didn't want to ruin it, because I like seeing, like, I don't know. I like seeing it beforehand, but I'm also a liar, because I listened to the whole Hadestown soundtrack before we're going to see it, so I'm just
We have the
shit.
whole deal. Or we are ready for it, honestly. But I've heard like the popular ones off of the Book of Mormon, so all the catchy ones, you already know what it is. Sorry, if you're asking about any of like recent media regarding Mormonism, we have not had that much time, and we've been watching other things lately, just because sometimes it's kind of taxing. We saw the first few episodes of what the hell is it called? Under the Banner of Heaven.
It's really heavy shit, and it's really triggering on top of everything else, and I'm super sensitive, so it's really hard for me to watch that stuff.
Which is ironic, because Jordan's the one who's read the book.
I did read the book. I read it in college.
So I don't know what's going on. I'd like to watch it, but I don't want to watch it without her.
Somebody asked us if we have a kid. Yes, we do. We have a 2-year-old.
Tim said that there was one at the top of the stairwell, and it beeped for 3 years. 3 years straight? Holy shit, that's wild.
See, if it wasn't... I don't know. I've gotten pretty good at tuning things out. Having a toddler will do that too.
If you were gay, would you be accepted in the Mormon church or not? Yes and no at the same time. So
yes
there is a large acceptance with an asterisk, but being a member of the church and being gay means that you are to live the law of chastity, which includes abstaining from sexual relations between people of the same sex. So if you are gay and you want to be a Mormon, you have to be in a heterosexual relationship if you want to be married, or you have to be celibate, and those are 2 options.
And those are not free to live options.
Yeah, when your freedom is limited, I don't think acceptance is the word that I would use to describe it. Rose with the super chat, thank you.
Thank you.
Rose said, got my first tattoo a week ago and started the process of getting my name removed. Love you guys.
Hell yeah.
And your commentary.
Snaps
Thank you.
for that.
We love to hear it.
That's amazing.
What was the process that you're using? Are you using the... I don't know if they can go across country lines. If you're donating with Canadian dollars,
Schrodinger's
I don't know
cat,
if
but make it gay.
Quit Mormon is able to help you out that way. We just sent an email to our... He wasn't technically our current bishop because we had just moved, but that was really easy. Yes, the short answer to that whole situation is no.
No.
Tattoo plans. Jordan was in the process of booking a tattoo for me for my birthday.
Yes.
She posted on her story today and said that she was going to hit up a bunch of DMs. So
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, check your DMs.
She's a popular lady.
Just in case. So yeah, I am planning on getting a new one. Hopefully she'll be able to book me in August. Can you explain the name removal process? That's topical.
Why?
Somebody asked.
Oh. I was like, what?
Will you explain the name removal process? Jordan was the one who really did the footwork on that one.
Your mic is a lot quieter than mine, apparently.
Is it?
So name...
I might just need to bring it closer.
Name removal is essentially the second that you get baptized, or if you're raised in the church, your records are always going to be on the church's records until you explicitly tell them to remove them. So if you don't remove them, they basically keep track of you. They have gone as far as to find, like, they'll hire private investigators to come and track you down just to, like, find out where you are so that they can send missionaries and come pester you so they can move your records to wherever the hell you are. So if you don't want that to happen, then generally removing your name is a good idea. Same thing for membership. So every year the church does, like, I don't know what you would call it, like
an audit.
An audit, there you go, of all the members. So you are basically counted as one of the members, and then they, like, share that information with the rest of the world. And they're like, we have this many million members, blah, blah, blah. And so we didn't want to be a part of those numbers. So we were like, let's get ours off, and we don't want people to track us down. So you have to email or write a letter to church headquarters, and they will process it and essentially give you permission to have your stuff removed. And a lot of people have had issues with that in the past. So a law firm does some pro bono work, which is quitmormon.com. And if you submit through them, they will do it for you for free. Otherwise, you have to get a notarized letter. So
sometimes you'll luck out. This is one of the instances of leadership roulette where some will be vindictive and annoying and pieces of garbage about it, and others will be like, okay, we'll get that process, thank you.
Yeah.
And, like, not even a word. There are some, like, protocols that they were supposed to follow. I don't know if they're able to do it anymore, where they would have to come into your home and, like, outline all the stuff that you'd be giving up. Like, your ceiling will be dissolved and all of your
membership benefits
is gone. Yeah. But I don't know if they're allowed to do that anymore. They might have been threatened with lawsuits.
Thank
Catherine
you, Catherine
Z with a super chat that the message was just retracted. I don't know if there was like a typo or something, but thank you. Send it in the chat and I'll look for it.
What's y'all's zodiac signs? Oh, hell yeah.
Jordan knows all that shit.
I wanted for our astrological friends, that was a astrological friends, I want you to guess. What do you think before I tell you?
Yeah, let's see some guesses in there. Can we do a poll?
I don't know.
Never mind. That would be,
you have
there's
to have
too many
options.
Yeah. Never mind. Just write in what you think. Somebody asked if McKay is a Mormon name. I don't really think so. McKay as a surname is Scottish. I just looked it up. There's this kid in my British literature class my senior year of high school who would call me McKay because he was a bagpipe player. But that is a Scottish thing.
Really?
I didn't know that. Gemini and Scorpio, Virgo, Leo. Ooh, Leo's close for me.
Pisces, okay. Pisces. I'm loving this. You have Taurus energy.
McKay has Taurus energy.
I love this.
I like that people think I am a Leo.
Oh, yeah. Some of you know my birthday, so that's like a dead giveaway.
Pisces vibes. Deb Little with a $20 super chat. Learned so much from you guys. Thanks. We try to, and a lot of people try to discredit us just because we're not Mormons anymore, but I will give it to you straight every time. I'll give credit where credit is due, even though there's not a lot. Ooh, Robin's on fire is correct.
McKay is a Cancer.
Yep, Julia too. You got it. I might have missed some other people before.
There was a few.
It was the first person that I'd seen. Somebody guessed Cancer. I am a very late Cancer. I think I'm the last day. aren't I?
Yeah, I think you're very close to
because
the end.
our child and me were only a week apart, and he's a Leo.
Yep. So I saw lots of Virgos, which makes me laugh, but I am a Pisces. I am a very intense Pisces.
Sarah and Heather, what's going on?
Hi, Heather, with the cute doggy. Oh, what's your dog's name? Oh, God. Is it Kimchi? Is that right? I'm going to be shocked if I'm right about that.
That'd
They've told me their
wild.
dog's name, and I'm going to be really upset if that's not it, but it's okay. Big H3 fan, hoping Ethan Klein does an episode on you both. Would you guys go on the show? Abso-fucking-lutely, we would.
There's no way.
There's no way they ever
No
would, but
fucking way.
absolutely we would. Yeah, McKay, I didn't get into them until after, like, we were married, but McKay's been watching them for a long, long time.
Off and on. I've not been like a massive fan.
We've
all
been
the time.
together for 5 years, and you were doing it in the very beginning.
I was, yeah, off and on, I guess.
Latter-day Cancer. Let's get you on H3. Kimchi! Oh, hell yeah. I got it. Frick yeah,
Would
y'all.
you ever do a Mormon influencer episode on the women who host the What She Said podcast? JC Marie Smith. Really fit
I've
the
heard of
mold
her.
Of
I
pushy,
feel like I've
progressive,
looked
and
at-
palatable Mormonism.
Nah.
I've never heard of her. You have?
I feel like I have. That name sounds familiar.
Let
So
me,
many emotions in the Jordan and McKay house. Yes, mainly because of me. McKay is well regulated. I am unstable.
I saw Ben Shapoopy in there.
Ben
I was listening
Shabibo.
yesterday to the podcast episode and just wanted to say on behalf of all Jews that we don't claim Ben Shapoopy. That is honestly the vibe that I get, and do not worry, that has never crossed my mind.
For real.
There have been H3 arcs that weren't great. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I'm really...
They've had their moments, but
Yeah.
when criticism gets leveled, they take it,
Yeah.
they eat it, and they apologize typically.
H3, Trisha Paytas used to be co-host with Ethan Klein on an H3 podcast called Frenemies, but it wasn't the main thing.
Yeah, that podcast went down in flames. This is a Trisha Paytas hate channel.
Yeah, garbage. It's like trashy TV, honestly.
It really is. It was a hot mess to watch.
Really like the collab with Fundy Fridays.
Our mics are
Any
still uneven,
chance?
apparently.
I can't. The thing is, I'd have to get up and do it. I'm just gonna bring it closer to my mouth. I'd have to get up and mess with
I was
the.
gonna answer. Shit.
It's weird because usually when we record, I have to bring my mic down and bring Jordan's mic up. So I don't
I'm
know
not
what the hell's
loud
going
enough.
on.
Have you ever talked to Amanda Ray? Yes. So we have talked to Amanda Ray. She reached out to us like probably a month or two ago when she was here in town, and we were going to do a collab and we weren't able to make it work. So next time she comes to Utah, we're going to be doing a collaboration. She's great.
Hell yeah. Jimmy Snow.
Not a fan, personally.
Not the vibe, sorry. A good friend of ours has a little bit of bad blood with him, and I don't know if we're allowed to share, so, but there's reasoning behind it beyond just some shitty stuff that he's done that we don't like.
Trasha. You already
Trasha.
know. Trisha is a very problematic person for a variety of reasons. Not the least of which we could get into in a podcast today. Let's see. You both have to get on H3. I need the crossover. It'll be that's not something I would believe would ever happen, but here we are. I didn't think we'd be doing this either, so sky's the limit. Jordan, how's school going? School is exhausting. Thank you, Isabel Rivera. So kind of you. School is better this semester because I am in summer semester currently, so my class load is down like significantly. So it has been very nice in that sense, but I start back up in August.
Somebody was asking our thoughts on the recent Fundy Fridays problems. Big
Lawson
thoughts.
Bates.
Yeah, Lawson Bates is a baby. or whoever is the one talking to the lawyers about getting that shit claimed. Honestly, it's annoying.
But it looks like it's going the right direction now, though. She updated today.
Yeah, they released one of the first claim that he made, which is really good news because I think that's the one that he probably had the best case on.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's really cowardly that somebody would get mad of a parody and use the copyright law to kind of take it down instead of like reaching out or anything like that. It's pretty dumb.
If you're not familiar, Lawson Bates is a stupid Fundy that Jen has covered on her channel before, and he's a country singer, if you could call him that. And Jen did a cover of his song that is appropriately covered under DMCA and copyright law. And Lawson went after it and said that they had used his material inappropriately and had struck her videos. And if you get 3 strikes on YouTube, they delete your channel. So they were in like a really vulnerable position over bullshit. But today, YouTube reviewed one of their counterclaims and released one of their videos. So suck on that, Lawson Bates.
Yeah, Jen definitely improved upon it. It's just proof. I'm a big country hater.
He's not
There
a fan.
are not many genres that I don't like.
I grew up listening to country, so I can say, in my opinion, Lawson Bates sounds like every other young male country artist out there. So there's literally no reason that he was going to stand out in the crowd.
Love you like the rain.
Suffering grad student. Somebody asked me about my undergrad. My undergrad was in special education. I used to be a special ed teacher, and I'm currently I'm working on my master's in social work.
I got the sauce removed from the records from the church. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Snaps to that. We love it. Yeah, Jules, he can't take the heat, honestly.
He can't. Definitely overcompensating. That's for sure.
I hope there's some sort of legal... Because I don't think you can just frivolously claim videos and strike them. Hopefully there's something.
Releasing the copyright claim does remove the strike.
Yeah. So they should be able to upload for this Friday, shouldn't they?
I don't know, because they still have the other 2. If they release those other 2.
No, because their shit was just on lockdown because they had the 3 strikes. I'm pretty sure they should be able to...
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. YouTube is really not helpful in these situations, but I'm glad that it panned out for them. Resources for going through a faith crisis. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. He plays bluegrass. Is that what he considers himself? Oh, God, that's embarrassing.
Worst bluegrass I've ever heard.
You're not a very objective person for that, though.
Okay, I hate country, but I love Johnny Cash. There you go.
Okay, so resources for faith crisis. I mainly went the direction of books. I just kind of explored the things that were speaking to me at that point that Mormonism didn't kind of allow me to explore. So, like when we first left the church, I got really into tarot. I still do it from time to time, just not as often. I don't have the time. But find books that interest you. If you email me, I have like a list, jordanmckay@gmail.com, and I can email you like a list of things that I read that were really helpful. But therapy is my other recommendation. Get comfortable with ambiguity. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not know right now. It's okay to not know ever. You just got to get a little bit more comfortable with being in that space, because Mormonism, at least in our case, has all the answers. So you go from knowing everything about everything to knowing nothing. And that's a really challenging place to be.
Yeah.
So give yourself grace.
Yeah. You can work through it in a variety of ways. Like a lot of Facebook groups and people will just be like, CES letter, CES letter, CES letter, which I do think is a good resource, but it has a lot of issues and a lot of bias and things like that. It's important to look at things from a lot of angles. And even when you do that, it doesn't look good.
Definitely not.
Somebody was saying something here. This is random, but does the Mormon church have guidance on age differences in relationships, or do they not touch on that because of Joseph Smith? There is no age guidance.
We stand Dolly Parton, don't worry.
Yeah, Yeah, really, there's no... If it's legal, if you're of legal age or you can meet the otherwise legal requirements for somebody to marry you in the country that you're in, then it's all good.
Yeah.
Hi from Australia. Love to see it.
Love our Australia people.
My shirt's from Australia. The band and the shirt, I ordered this from Australia.
Yes. Mormon Stories podcast. If you are deconstructing from Mormonism or like other Christianity, Fundy-ish religions, the host has kind of expanded into that as well. But they're a really good resource because if you want to look for something, Mormon Stories has it. So
yeah.
And you can go listen to our episode.
If you please. Letter to My Wife also is a really good one. You can find that at lettertomywife.com.
Yep.
Or Letter for My Wife?
For My Wife, I think.
Let's double check here.
We have not seen Top Gun yet. McKay's parents went and saw it and said it was really good.
We're not movies kind of people.
We're really not.
Last time I was in the theater was for... Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, gosh. That might have been...
That was probably 5 years ago.
Oh, gosh. I want you guys to fight Paul and Morgan in the Thunderdome.
Dude, I'll throw hands.
No, you won't.
We'll do a fight. We won't harm each other.
No.
The fight will be who can assemble a desk faster, Paul or myself.
Yikes. There was a question that I saw that I was going to answer. How are you planning on shielding your son growing up in a heavily Mormon state? Great question. In Utah, it's like basically impossible. You can do it. It's challenging, but it is not something that we want to do. So we are moving back to Colorado, which is where we are from, where both of us grew up, next summer. So that will effectively close our Utah chapter.
Yeah. Thank God.
For the win.
Thank God.
Let's see.
What does Social Security have to do with marriage? I have no idea. Unless that was talking to somebody else in the chat. Paul had back surgery, I think. LOL. You'd win regardless. That's fair, I suppose.
That's fair.
Valid.
Have you talked about Teal Swan yet? Heather, we have not. But when we were watching it, we were caught up all the way. I think there's 2 episodes that we haven't seen. Another heavy show, but it's like less triggering for me because it's not Mormonism. So we were able to get through that one. But Teal Swan is fucking crazy.
Holy shit.
Being a therapist intern and, having a background in mental health now, I cannot tell you, run far away from her. Wherever she is, run the opposite direction and run very far. She is toxic. Must be IKEA. Who can carry the most church chairs? Escape from Utah. Colorado is my state. Yeah, we love Colorado.
Colorado's great.
We lived in Colorado. I lived in Colorado until 2015. I moved to Utah in 2015.
Sydney Watson. Keep grabbing this mouse, but it's not hooked up to this computer.
Where in Colorado? We were just north of Denver is where we grew up. I will be done with school in May of next year. So I am halfway done.
We are ready for her to be done so we can move. We will be happy, honestly.
Are both your parents still part of the church?
Mine are both all in. And
all in?
Yeah. So, thoughts on Ruby Doo's rebrand? What a joke, honestly.
Oh, I want to talk about that a little bit later.
I could not believe that she took her personal profile and made it into Connections bullshit.
I think it's Jody that's
she must be, honestly. They're like super besties, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird.
My back is killing me. I promise I'm not just trying to push my boobs out. Okay.
Y'all smoke bud in Colorado? I've never before.
I have a card for PTSD, so I do hear.
Here it's not. It's only
medicinal here. But I do not like smoking it because it smells terrible to me. Because in Colorado, everywhere smells like that. And I've always hated it. So I have to do it like orally or I can't take it. My mom, I didn't answer about my parents. My dad was never a Mormon. He like fully supports us in what we do.
For the super chat.
But my mom is very Mormon. She works for the church. So.
Oh, what? Had you heard about Murder Among the Mormons while growing up? I did not know a single thing about Mark Hoffman. I did not know a single thing about the Lafferty murders at all. And those are two things where, I mean, my dad grew up in the time in Utah when that happened. I never heard a peep about it.
Nope.
So things like that just are not discussed.
Let's see.
Collab with Mickey Atkins, I'm assuming.
We love her. Somebody said she has
Was she going to go out for Jen and James' wedding? I think, she was maybe thinking about it.
I don't remember.
If that's the case, we are planning on going to Jen and James's wedding. So we were invited.
We're not inviting ourselves.
But yeah, if we're going and she's going to be there, then we will probably talk to her.
Kat.
Maybe do something.
That's so nice. You are one of the best channels for my current mental health spiral. So thank you for the distraction. We appreciate that.
Oh, cooking with McKay. I would love to, honestly.
More cooking with McKay.
We have the means, and we have our own kitchen now, and I'm bursting with want to try recipes and stuff. I've made a frog eye salad a couple times. it's just so good.
Is the Teddy Fresh hoodie over or underrated?
It lives up to the hype.
It does. Opinion. But I'm either dressed like an unstable troll under a bridge, or I like put myself together nicely and prefer nice clothes. So it is obviously on the way more expensive end, but you know, if you're only buying one or two pieces, it's worth it because the quality is great. Expensive.
Frog eye salad it falls under the category of fluff salads.
It's not frog eyes.
It's not really salad either. It's basically you make acini di pepe. I can't speak Italian. Don't make fun of me. Pasta, which is just like little tiny granules of pasta, and you make like a custard with pineapple juice, and you let those kind of marinate together. And then after it's been in the fridge like overnight, you whip up some whipped cream, you put marshmallow fluff in it, and then you dump that in with the salad and marshmallows, mandarin oranges, and pineapple bits and stuff like that. It's really good for dessert.
Yeah.
Even though it's not intended for dessert.
A lot of people think it sounds gross, but it really is. Yeah,
it's really good. It's a really challenging texture.
Yellow rose, yes. It is not. I know it sounds kind of weird, but
yeah, it's just because the pasta looks like frog eyes. That's
Hi, Social Spoons.
Comes from.
If you guys don't know, Social Spoons created a lot of our stuff, like our "Don't Get Your Garmies in a Bunch" sticker, our wolf sticker.
Hell yeah,
they're amazing.
Mormon potluck vibes for sure. Sort of like ambrosia, I think so.
Yeah. A texture nightmare. See, the texture is why I like it, so I'm probably weird in that way. But
do people do hanky-panky at BYU, not just soaking? Yeah, it happens for sure.
Yes.
I knew people at BYU Idaho who did it and like fessed up to it and then got expelled because that's against the honor code. There's also there's a particular Mormon Stories episode that was out last summer about this one person who was working she was in physical therapy or something, so she was working closely with the BYU football team and fornicated with a football player, and she got expelled and he didn't because
shocking.
He's a football player. Even though he wasn't Mormon, they still let him stick around because that stinky misogyny or patriarchy, whatever.
Both. Grew up in IFB. Oof.
Holy shit.
Recently came across your podcast. Thank you so much for using your voice. Thank you for being here. IFB is a trip. We haven't spent a lot of time in that, but from
Fundy Fridays.
From what I know.
Again, what we've learned.
Yikes. Major yikes. We do have a P.O. box. It is in the description of all of our videos at the bottom.
Yep. People are asking what my favorite band is. That's kind of hard. I have one all-time favorite, I guess, which is the Black Dahlia Murder. I freaking love. Rest in peace, Trevor Sternad. So I guess I would say that's my favorite of all time.
Favorite of all time for me is tough because I have a very wide range of music taste. Very wide. But Beyonce is probably going to be it for me. Beyonce. Jordan
claims to be a Beyonce stan, but she has not heard the latest album.
It hasn't come out yet.
You said it was out the other night, didn't you?
No, she dropped the cover. I don't think it comes out till the end of this month. But I used to listen. I had a Hello Kitty, like, music box thing, CD player. Yeah. I had a pink Hello Kitty one as a kid, and my mom would surprisingly buy me the Beyonce CDs, but then she would tell me what numbers of the songs that I couldn't listen to because they were inappropriate, which is like most Beyonce songs. But so she would tell me what ones I had to skip. And I would not skip them. I would listen to them anyway. So big Beyonce stan. In my emo level, Panic at the Disco has been my all-time favorite. I've seen them in concert like 7 times. We're going to see them this year.
We get to pick other ones?
What?
Well, damn.
Oh, and like I have weird range. So
I have weird range too. My favorite pop punk band is Knuckle Puck. My favorite, I don't know. I have a lot of metal picks, but I'll just leave that where it is. Alisana and one of their members loves Black Dahlia Murder. Yeah, honestly. For anybody who's just getting here late, don't worry. You can like go back and watch it later in case you don't want to miss anything that's live. Favorite music / group that y'all have seen live? Jordan.
That I've seen live?
Yeah.
It's going to be Panic every time. That's the reason why I've seen Panic so many times. He's charismatic. He's amazing. His range. Like, every time I've gone, it's been a phenomenal show. I also saw My Chemical Romance back in their heyday, and that was phenomenal.
Damn.
I was an emo kid.
Knuckle Puck. Yeah. Best live bands I've seen. Knuckle Puck was really good. I saw them like in 2014 in a really small venue in Denver. That was really fun. Somebody mentioned A Day to Remember. I saw A Day to Remember at the House Party Tour right before Common Courtesy came out. I got VIP, and I heard them play You Had Me at Hello for the first time ever in a live setting. That was really cool. Probably one of my favorite. Danielle, why would you call me out like that with the La Dispute? Honestly. One of my favorite shows that I've been to was Full of Hell at Kilby Court here in Salt Lake. Honestly, that's just wild.
Such a little dive of a venue.
It's so tiny. I love it. The 1975. Love the 1975. Never heard of Royal Blood. Yeah. After the Burial is Deece. Let's see. I don't listen to Joy Division. My dad was really big into Joy Division when he was a kid.
Red Rocks, favorite Colorado venue, obviously, hands down. I also like the Fillmore. A lot of people don't like the Fillmore, but it's got that close vibe without it being like too much.
It's all about the Marquee. The Marquee in Denver. That's where I saw Knuckle Puck.
Hi, Belge. I don't know if that's how you say your username, but I know that you're here.
Favorite early 2000 boy band. I didn't really listen to boy bands.
I had a little, I don't even know what they're called, but it was like a little music player, but it had like one little square looking CD thing that you would put in it. It was tiny. It was like this big. And I had one of those, and the only song it had on it was from NSYNC. So
there you go. Danielle's asking Knock Loose, Turnstile, Arf, Arf. That's all I got to say. And Corinna said Metalocalypse. Fucks. I love Metalocalypse so much. Under Oath. Only they're only seeking safety or whatever that album is called. That one's good. Don't listen to Hot Mulligan.
Belgium, glad I said it
I know
right.
of.
I really didn't know. I was going out on a limb on that one. Hit Clips. Is that what it was? Oh my god.
Hit Clips.
Oh my god. Let me look it up. You guys are probably right.
That's definitely what it is. Do a video on OK Baby. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. Oriental theater is disgusting and I love it. I've never been to the Oriental. I wanted to see the Black Dahlia murder at, I think it was at the Oriental. But obviously it got canceled. The tour got canceled because Parkway Drive.
Not a fan of MGK.
MGK is the worst thing that's ever happened to the scene. Garbage. I'm sorry if you like him, but he is a garbage person. Also, he does not have good views on young girls. So.
Would y'all make a Reddit or Discourse forum for people to comment? We have a Discord if you're interested in joining our Discord. I don't feel like we're important enough for a Reddit channel, forum, whatever. Subreddit, yeah. If somebody wanted to create one, that's fine.
The Discord invite is in the description, by the way.
Usually they turn into like hate channels real quick.
Yeah. William Murderface. Oh, did you? I don't know if I changed mine, but my avatar on Discord is Nathan Explosion. I forgot about that little.
The Gothic is good too. Yeah.
Oh,
Heather,
the Bluebird.
are you from Colorado?
I saw Small Pools at the Bluebird. That was a good show.
Really?
Yeah.
MGK
is a hella poser.
Agree.
Fuck MGK. They seem nice, but they make some really cringy crap.
If you could throw a handful of cold spaghetti on anyone, who would it be? Not violent, but so unsettling. I love this. Oh my god.
Bethany Beal.
Bethany. Oh man.
I would throw cold spaghetti on Bethany Beal.
It'd probably be, I don't know. There's a lot of fundies on my list. Family members too, but I won't say that.
Toivola? That's weird.
The Discord is so fun.
I love the Discord, honestly. I have been major neglecting because I am just overwhelmed all the time lately. But
Po Buddy's nerfed. We got an Office fan in here.
Po Buddy's nerfed.
Thank you for people who pointed out that it was hit clips.
Thing.
Po Buddy's nerfed?
Yeah.
That's where I learned it.
That's not just an Office thing.
Maybe not. Any new tea on Ruby? Okay, let me pull up some things.
Learning to unplace the guitars
that I saw on Reddit this week.
Oh, my favorite Metalocalypse bit. It's been a long time since I've watched. I need to rewatch it. But it's when they're talking about Christmas and decorating the tree, and Nathan goes, "Oh yeah, that's pretty fucking brutal." Discord is just like a messaging app. I don't even know how to explain Discord. When Discord got big, I was on my mission, and
it's like a chat room, but like organized into like different subjects and things.
Yellow Rose. I don't listen to a lot of prog metal. I like The Contortionist, but outside of that, not really too much else. Veil of Maya, I think technically qualifies as prog, metalcore maybe, but I really like Veil of Maya. I just got Matriarch. They did a repress for the first time since that one came out.
Yes, this will be recorded so you can watch it later if you gotta pop out it early. I don't know how long we're gonna go. Do you know if Jen's coming back? Her counterclaim got like accepted today, so one of her strikes has been removed, so that's a good sign for the rest. Yeah. Okay. Discord is kind of like Slack. Yeah. True. Huge Office fans. Just pooping. You know how I be.
Seriously.
What are your thoughts on the Colorado versus New Mexico green chili debate?
Colorado all the way.
Dude,
Santiago's so good.
Santiago's is my favorite Mexican place in Colorado. It is the best, hands down. I'm so excited. You can't. The most bizarre thing for me moving to Utah was in Colorado, green chili is at every Mexican restaurant you ever go to. You move to Utah and they have no idea what you're fucking talking about.
Oh my God.
Like they do not understand like what even it is.
We went to the Rio Grande restaurant downtown.
Which is like
It is like prestigious, honestly. Yeah. And I got something that was smothered in green chili, and it was, I didn't even, it was tamales, and I couldn't even finish it. Honestly, it was really disappointing.
Hatch.
Ruby went crazy on a veteran yesterday. It was wild. Are you kidding me?
Yes, that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. So, and I'll keep watching chat for things that we can address too. Yesterday, I thought it was Jody.
Before we dive into that, somebody was like, McKay, how do you balance your relationship with your parents being Mormon? It was a learning process for sure.
It was a steep learning curve in the beginning.
Yeah. And we had a big blowout, honestly, at one point. And I was like, don't talk to me about it. We won't talk to you about it, whatever. And then after that, now that our relationship has kind of reached equilibrium again,
yeah.
I don't care that
it's back to being healthy, I feel like, again, because it's just like once everything gets like completely thrown off, then if you're going to make it work, you have to establish like a new balance.
Yeah.
Which is what we've done.
Yeah, because it's the core tenet of their lives still. It's what they're doing throughout the week. So I know that what they're doing and everything and
is important to them.
Yeah. So, I'm here for it, for what they want to do. And obviously I can't change their minds about paying money to them, to the church or anything like that. So,
well, and as long as like the whole goal is to respect each other's boundaries, and that's been happening. So that's really all we can ask for. So, as far as my mom and I do not talk and haven't for over a year.
We can't expect them to do something that we would want them to do.
Yeah.
That's against their core beliefs. So being about what we're about and standing up for what we believe is the best that we can do.
Heather was raised in Littleton. Oh, okay. Yeah, Santiago's breakfast burritos. Oh my God, I think that's Melissa.
Melissa, fiance and I want to know if McKay has encountered the absurdity that is Glory Hammer. No. Is that a group? I'm opening. All right, we can get on to... thanks, Melissa, for the super chat, by the way. Let's get into the...
So, Jody posted a picture of her, like, touching... It's like awkward to explain. She's, like, holding the flag, kind of. Like, it's kind of like a dramatic picture, And she's, like, touching it and kind of holding it in a really weird way. So there was a veteran in the weird Facebook group that they all have.
Is it the Connections?
Yes, it's the Connections Facebook group. This is Ruby from 8 Passengers, who we've covered a few times. And this veteran essentially called out Jody and was like, this is against, flag code. Like if you're not from the U.S., there's like a certain set of ways that you handle a flag and when you're, when it's like torn up and you're done with it and whether or not you touch it and what, when you bring it in or leave it out or whatever. So it's like really stringent. And so Jody, like manhandling the flag is not essentially showing respect as it would for most people who are like super patriotic or members of the military. So this veteran called her out and was like, this is inappropriate. You shouldn't be doing this. And Jody, like, lost her ever-loving mind. So the veteran commented and said, I'm a disabled veteran. This is disrespectful in regards to Jody's picture. Bless you for your service, and I don't understand what is respectful. What are you talking about? And she responds saying, because you're breaking all conduct for how to handle the flag. Please kindly learn some respect. And she says, all you have to do is look at the expression on my face to see the respect and devotion I have to the American flag. Clearly you don't see. So, they essentially get into it. And this veteran is, like, trying to stand up and be like, this is inappropriate. And Ruby comes in and is like, do you hear your aggression?
Oh my
Why
God.
do you think the flag code was made? What principles are behind it? If you are a rule chaser, you will never see principles, which is really ironic to me because everything that Ruby and Jody do is based in rules and principles and
truth in all caps and not distortion.
I invite you to slow down your thinking and soften like butter. I added the like butter part and consider the message we are offering. And she essentially said, the freedom that my brothers and sisters in arms protect is not the same as the freedom Connections is pushing. And she says, well, I now know what your motive is and exactly who you serve. You're not welcome here. The people who were...
banned him?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
it was a woman. But
banned her? Wow, I really just kind of showed my hand on that one with my...
Yeah.
Assuming that it was a man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So there's not a lot of men in the Connections group, but they're unhinged over there. They're absolutely fucking unhinged. It is like frightening.
The absolute worst flag loving Americans are the people who don't fucking understand the whole flag code and everything like that, and they just don't give a shit at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole that is a cult with a capital C, honestly. I can't believe that they got to the point where being in a Mormon cult was not enough, so they had to go out and make their own fucking cult.
It's frightening the path that they are like starting down on. Like if anybody's familiar with the Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow case, like it's very similar in that people who are Mormon, because both Jody and Ruby are like very intensely Mormon, and whatever Mormonism is providing isn't enough. So they have to like go balls deeper. And by doing that, they create like their own little like subgroup within their religion. And then it eventually does not like resemble Mormonism like the way that the mainstream church would practice it. Like eventually Chad Daybell was like, I'm a prophet. And that's like obviously against the Mormon church. And he was excommunicated, I'm pretty sure, before that. But then they went on to, you know, kill people. So it's really frightening when people start going down extremism.
People are saying that they can only hear me in one side and you in the other. That makes sense. Let me see if I can adjust this real quick. Because we have two channels, so it's just automatically assigning Jordan to the left and me to the right. This is kind of far away, so I'm trying to see.
McKay's going to play with it, so don't freak out if something goes wrong. Ruby is a Karen. Diehard Karen. Let's see. Let me scroll back up.
Switch to mono.
So cult. Yes, yes. Ruby is a literal demon. I would not really argue that point.
All right, let's... Okay, it looks like it's bouncing on one channel now, so let me know if that's better. I changed it to mono.
Watch, we just fucked it all up.
I know. Let me know if it's totally fucked. If not, then we will continue. The church still hasn't commented on the kid's death according to True Hidden Crime. Nope, they won't. They won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. They probably don't think it is their responsibility or anything like that because of how far, like, out
extreme
of the fucking stratosphere Lori was. So
there might be people in here who are more familiar with it than I know. It's been a long time since I read about it, but I'm pretty sure they excommunicated Chad before everything happened because Chad claimed to know better than everybody else and wanted to be a prophet. So
Ruby corrects everyone, but the second someone corrects her, she completely fits.
Oh my God.
Ruby gives cop vibes, not gonna lie.
Seriously. Her relationship with Jody is suspicious to me. The two of them are just very off together. Is there Trader Joe's in Utah? Yes, there is Trader Joe's. There's only like a few though. They're all, I'm pretty sure, in Salt Lake. There was one right by.
It was like 20 minutes from where we used to live, and now it's a lot farther. I think that was the closest one to here too.
There was one, there's one right by the Chili's. There was one like 10 minutes away from my sorority house where I lived in college, which was good, but Trader Joe's is expensive. Ruby gives QAnon vibes. You know, I don't disagree. Because when people like fall into this level of religious extremism, like really extreme and sensationalized thinking doesn't seem so extreme in that space, and it's really just kind of a slippery slope.
Who hurt Ruby? Us, I hope. No, I'm kidding.
She doesn't care.
It is really disappointing.
Why do they sit so close all the time? I don't know. Go look at their pictures. I don't remember what their Instagram is.
It's like Moms for
of
Truth.
Moms for Truth. Look it up.
Let me see.
You can go on their Instagram and
I
look.
messaged them on Instagram because I was like, wow, I thought this was Ruby Franke.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was hoping to get banned, honestly. I was just searching for
For a while, Ruby was messaging her followers on her account and saying, hey, come join our Facebook group. And I'm like, girl, you that desperate? Ruby is the brains behind 8 Passengers, which is she's a major Mormon mommy blogger, probably one of the most successful. And her kids are older, and she has, not like old, she still has younger kids in the home, but she has essentially created a cult and has dedicated all her time to that now and is not vlogging anymore. So there is a win there, but now she's doing something else more harmful.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Probably kill somebody's ears.
Connections on YouTube, yeah, with an X.
Let me find them on Instagram real quick, and y'all can take a
Yeah, Ruby was the
take
one
a
that we
look.
made the video about because she lost her shit over like 2010 not really inappropriate song that children were dancing to.
Oh, well, they did block me.
They blocked you? Oh my
Yes.
God.
Unless it doesn't exist anymore. Hold on, you look.
What's the account?
It's called moms_of_truth.
I'm pretty sure it's still up because I looked the other day. Yeah, you got blocked.
Oof. What did I say to them? Oh, I can't. I said, oh, I was looking for Ruby Franke's channel or something like that, or Instagram, and I was really disappointed to find that it's been co-opted as a
That is
page
sick.
for a cult or something like that.
But yeah, their pictures together are just
That is sick.
weird. Very weird.
$30,000.
There's like some bizarre energy happening between the two of them, and I can't really put my finger on it, but it seems, I don't know. There's something weird going on there.
Sick. Why does Moms of Truth sound so culty?
It absolutely is.
Fucking is.
And it's not even truth. It's the subjective truth that Ruby and Jody have decided to push onto everyone. Was she the one crying in her van? Yes.
Yes. I got blocked from the Facebook group Moms of Truth because I asked if I started a family YouTube channel if I'd be exploiting my kids.
That hit too close to home for Ruby.
Damn. It's always a good day when you get blocked by Ruby. I honestly feel she is behind the 30,000.
Yes, that is her voice.
I didn't know that either.
For that TikTok trend. I'm sure she absolutely
30,000?
lost her shit because she hates TikTok so much.
Like, oh, dude. Oh, dude, you know those people are fucking just haters.
They do. Someone said I'm behind, but I think Jordan's a Sagittarius. That is funny. I've gotten that one quite a few times. Will you cover Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey? We watched the first episode. That is another one that is very heavy for me to watch, so it'll probably take me a while to get through it.
Yeah. Just as an aside, it's kind of hard to do a lot of those things just because of copyright law, especially with Netflix. You can't even pull clips off of Netflix. So if we'd ever talk about those, it would just be...
That's her voice. Yes, that is her
Talking.
voice.
OMG, imagine a Bethany and Ruby car vlogging channel.
Oh, man.
It's car talking.
Honestly, I don't know if Bethany is fundy enough for Ruby. Honestly.
Dude, I don't know if she is.
I don't really think that she is. Because I don't even think mainstream Mormons are fundy enough for Ruby and Jody at this point.
No.
Like, they've
beyond.
slid so
Like
far
her
into
own,
extremism.
Her own family.
Yeah.
She cut them all out. And there have been multiple comments on YouTube from the other
from her sister
family vloggers who are like, Ruby has chosen to not talk to us anymore, and just kind of trouble in the what's that family called? The Griffith family.
Oh yeah.
Situation.
So she's basically cut herself out. And we're all for cutting out family if boundaries are violated and it's not appropriate. But if you're starting a cult and that's why, it's like, eh.
Yeah.
Would y'all ever make a vlog channel? Our lives aren't that exciting.
Yeah, no. You would not want to watch that. I can guarantee it. It's, not that exciting. What was I doing here?
Can you look into Skylife? I've seen some. Skylife is one I've never heard of. The Beestons I've heard of. We've thought about covering them in the past. There is a lot of Mormon families that moved to Hawaii. And I will say that because they aren't from there. They moved there. If you weren't aware, there is a BYU, a Mormon university on the main island of Hawaii.
Growing up in polygamy, covered.
They were just on Mormon Stories, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Disclaimer for those who would like to watch that. They are current, like, mainline Brighamite Mormons now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. People
I'm
are like,
pretty
collab
sure
with
are.
them. I'm like, oh. If they're still super Mormon, not
I
really
watched
a fan.
one of their older episodes, and they were like, we're just regular Mormons now, or
Hi, the
like
side
that.
of the stars. Thanks
Please correct
for
me if
joining.
I'm wrong. I thought I saw something about that.
Can you guys talk about why you choose to not show your son on social media? I am an anxious person.
Practice what we preach.
We do. I just have bad anxiety in general, so the more that I can do to protect him, the better. It's just kind of the safer thing to do, especially now that we're on the internet.
Yeah.
What we do is kind of controversial here, and we, like, McKay got recognized at Walmart yesterday. So it's just kind of a weird dynamic. So I would just prefer people not know what he looks like. I mean, he's not consenting to any of this, and this is kind of a really intense position. So I don't want him to, like, force him to be associated with this, even though we're going to obviously teach him what we know. But
they left the church.
They left the church? Oh, okay. That's encouraging.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. This was probably like almost a year ago when I'd seen that. They had said that they had joined the church, the other church. So.
Okay, good. That's good to hear.
Maybe I didn't watch the video long enough. That's good to hear. Yeah, honestly, it's not our right to just be posting him on social media. That would be, he doesn't have the opportunity to tell us yes or no.
Right.
Or to know what that's about.
So, and I mean, it's not to say, like, you know, if you share pictures of your kid on Facebook with your family members, like, that's fine. But, like, we have, you know, and we have a small platform. I don't think we're big in any sense of the word. But still, I mean, we have 10,000 followers on Instagram, and, you know, 10 of them people we don't, like, even if there were only 10 of you and you didn't know who we are, I'm still not. Yes, our smoke detector is going off. So it is not in your house. If you joined late, our smoke detector went off, and McKay had to go buy a ladder from Walmart because we have really high ceilings and we could not reach it. And there's one still going off in the hallway. So
yeah. So it got better, but I was a little scared to get on the ladder next to the stairs right before we streamed.
Because then we would have canceled because you fell down the stairs.
And that was after I freaking sped to the store to get that ladder. Just kidding. I follow all the speed limits.
Followed all traffic laws because you listened to me, right?
I sped in Minecraft
to
the store in Minecraft.
Keep the kids off the internet. That's the better policy. I mean, obviously things will be different by the time he's a teenager, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
It's not needed. Anybody who I'd like to share my son with, I'm in contact with.
Yeah, like personally.
Anybody else, if I'm not that important in your life to be talking to me, then
hello,
you don't
shopaholic.
Get anything special.
Hello to
welcome to the live.
Thank
we are
you.
doing Q&A and stuff. We're just kind of bullshitting, talking about whatever.
We don't really have a structure today.
Yeah.
If we do more lives in the future, we will do like structured things, but we wanted to start off with Q&A, get a vibe and see.
Yeah, I only participate on Christian Minecraft servers. Everything that I do is covered by the blood of Minecraft Jesus. It's all good. Did a couple Hail Marys before I logged off.
Is the weird trendy baby names in Mormon families as of recent true, or is it? I feel like it's always been true. I feel like, oh, okay, bye Heather. Thanks for joining.
Bye Kimchi.
Give love to Kimchi. But yeah, there's some weird, bizarre. I mean, I was a public school teacher here in Utah for a few years, and it there are some weird names out here, so it's not really like a theme, but there is lots of Lees, like Kaylee, Brinley, Trinley, Trinity Lee, like McKinley, Kylie with the, and this is all with the Leigh spelling. Good night from Australia. Thank you for joining us. I know it's like a crazy time for you guys.
Sorry to anybody who is way out of their normal waking period. You're amazing. We love you. We recognize that it is difficult for international viewers, which are surprisingly a big amount of our audience. So you're amazing.
Yes.
If you want to hop off, just make a note. We're 72 minutes in, and you can just pick up where you left off later because this will stay up after.
How was your time on Mormon Stories? Mormon Stories was great. John DeLynn is great. Okay, that's at your place. Yeah. Sorry for everyone who's confused by the fire alarm.
Sorry very much.
Can that be our next nickname meme in Discord? Oh my gosh, yes. I don't know. I'm still attached to the butt pasta thing.
I love the pastasonas. The posterior pastasonas. They're great.
Been through my own healing journey for years in therapy. Any type of like fundy religious background, I feel like therapy is just
Night, Coley. Have a good one.
The best thing to do.
Our patrons in here, honestly.
Yes, there was somebody who joined our Patreon too. I think it was Samantha. So thank you if you're in here.
Yo, Sage, honestly, it was scary how tall. Okay, for reference, I'm 6'3". I got a 6-foot ladder. I had to stand on the top where you're not supposed to stand, and I was still reaching. Like, the ceilings in these upstairs rooms are just stupid tall.
I posted it on my Instagram story, so you can go look, but literally it is like insanely high. Not Enough Nelson's has all Lees. Yeah, lots of Lees.
Yeah, somebody was asking about the whole 2-piece swimsuit with all their kids and crop tops and tank tops and stuff like that. Yeah, that doesn't meet the standards of the church.
2-piece generally is not appropriate.
I know.
We haven't talked about Michaela Skinner, but somebody probably a month or two ago sent me a DM on Instagram with a picture of her where she literally addressed that she is currently wearing garments. So she has been through the temple.
Boo.
She went to my university too.
There's a Facebook group called This Name Is a Tragedy.
LOL, yes.
Oh, sadly, my daughter's first name was in there. R.I.P. Sorry, Tricia. Boo.
There was something else I was going to talk about.
Honestly, a cathedral. I don't know why they made these top rooms so tall.
They're
I
just
would have
so
rather
tall.
been the downstairs one, especially because I don't know if we've ever taken pictures inside this room. This room is pretty small.
Yeah.
The ceilings are taller than the room is wide and deep. So, but we've had to put moving blankets on the walls to cut down on the echo.
Like I said, I posted it on Instagram and it is.
Oh yeah, check it out.
It's sketch looking, but it works.
Honduras. Oh, Honduras. That guy, I had no idea. But it's kind of funny that his mission basically became his entire persona online. That guy's got like a couple million subscribers.
Really?
Yeah, he's fucking obnoxious. McKay isn't really a common Mormon name. I don't know. Not
one of the prophets of the Mormon Church's last name is McKay, David O. McKay.
But
so a lot of people think that.
Yeah.
How do you feel like it affects your parenting journey? Oh, the stuff with my mom. Honestly, it's toxic. It's absolutely fucking toxic, and the best thing I ever did was walk away from it. when you have people in your life that are just unwell and refuse to take accountability and refuse to heal, like there really isn't, until they remedy those things, there really isn't a possibility for a relationship. And even then, if they can't take accountability, it's just going to cause more hurt. So at this point, I am in the reparenting stage, and I feel like a lot of us who had childhood trauma do that. So stay in therapy. I go to therapy every 2 weeks with my phenomenal therapist. I do a lot of inner child work, because if you've got childhood trauma, a lot of that stuff still manifests. And a lot of that stuff will manifest in how you parent your kids. So there's lots of things that come up for me that I have to check, because I'm like, okay, this is not a my son thing. This is a me thing. So it's a lot of work, but I've gotten a lot better with time.
Skyla's not even that bad. That's not a tragedy.
We did talk a little bit about Ruby. I saw, we talked about the whole flag code debacle in the Facebook group. They also posted a video on caffeine, I'm pretty sure, saying that caffeine is in distortion, which caffeine is very
in distortion.
On brand with Mormonism. Everything is in distortion if you're Jody and Ruby and you don't like it.
Any education movements in Utah or Colorado we should be supporting? In Utah, don't even bother, honestly. They fucking hate education in this state. They want to keep all the people just learning the absolute bare minimum, and there's no aspiring to greatness in this state, swear to God.
There is a teachers union. It's the Utah Education Association. I was part of the teachers union when I was teaching here, although they are very, very limited in what they can do. There was a lot of situations right before COVID where I felt job action was necessary, and they really, everybody has to vote on it, and I get job action is a really risky thing, but we wouldn't have had the votes for it, so it kind of feels a little bit pointless. But if you're a teacher, especially now, I would be part of a union. Like, without a doubt, because I feel like the one thing they are good for is discipline. So they'll have your back if you've got like a fucking crazy parent, which I did one time.
Yeah, you get like up to $1 million here in coverage.
Yeah. So it's helpful that way.
Nicole, what the fuck is your therapist on? Nicole's therapist decided to share that she's an insurrection denier. Why would that ever come up? Like,
ew.
Yeah, get a new therapist. She's asking what's a good way to transition to a new one.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if you're in Utah or not. You might not be. But in Utah, it's incredibly common for people to call like a private practice or a counseling center and ask for a therapist that is a certain religion or is not. And in Colorado, when I was growing up and I wasn't participating in Mormonism, I would have told you that was nuts. But here it is commonplace. Like, I work currently at a private practice now, and all of us disclose our religious beliefs because it impacts the clients we see. So that if I have a client that calls and is like, I'm done with Mormonism, I need an ex-Mormon therapist who understands all the lingo, but I need them to be not attached to the church in any way, shape, or form. So that's kind of the route that I go. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you can straight up ask and be like, I need somebody who's, a certain religion. I need somebody who's, left-leaning. I mean, it sounds kind of ridiculous, but you'll find a place that can highlight that for you. And if you can't find somebody that will disclose that, you can ask right off the bat. Like, it is more than appropriate to go to a new therapist and be like, I need you to tell me like that you're supportive in this way. I need you to tell me that you're, left-leaning. I need you, because right off the bat, you're going to know. So that's just the way to do it. Psychology Today, I mean, insurance can sometimes be challenging, but if you go to psychologytoday.com, you can search for therapists in your area based on like certain requirements or like certain things, and that's really helpful. So sometimes it's easier to do your own research if you can, because there are some sketchy people out there. There are a lot of therapists that are doing Instagrams now. So even if you searched like your area, like on Instagram and therapist, you might find some Instagram accounts that are like, we have some really liberal therapists who are really popular on Instagram here, and that's how they pull in a lot of their clients, because people relate.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a tangent.
Definitely make sure they have the credentials to back up their...
Yes.
Because people...
Miss Jody was a therapist.
People can lie on social media. Yeah, Jody was a therapist. Jody breached
Therapist confidentiality.
Confidentiality to report that her client was watching Prawn and
told the church so he'd get disciplined.
Yeah. He got disciplined by BYU. She told the honor code office, which is even fucking worse.
I can't tell it.
No, she told his bishop.
Yeah.
And he told the honor code office.
Which is against the therapist code of ethics. So she was put on probation for that because that is a violation of confidentiality.
Which is like the easiest fucking thing to not do. So the fact that she violated that is just beyond me.
Therapy Den is a list of more progressive therapists. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
It took me 4 therapists until I found a good one. I've gone to many therapists in my life, and the current one that I'm with is the most phenomenal one that I've ever had. And so sometimes it really does take a minute. And I know that's really discouraging, and there's wait lists right now, and it's a nightmare out there for mental health.
Yeah, you want to know what's really discouraging about mental health is basically anybody who's going to actually help you is not going to be covered by your insurance. Yeah. Both of us were paying.
We both pay out of pocket.
We pay out of pocket. It's the fucking worst.
It's bullshit. I work in mental health. At times, self-disclosure is truly for the client's benefit. That should be done for that reason. Exactly. If you're self-disclosing for any other reason, then that's concerning. But it really, and I mean, I've been to my therapist for 2 years now, and I can probably name 5 things personally that I know about her. Yeah. The 2 years that I've gone to her, because it's not about your therapist. It's not. It's about you. So if they're sharing things and you don't feel like it's appropriate, then be like, I don't know why you're telling this to me. So.
Yeah, waitlist gang. If you are able to pay out of pocket, I definitely recommend just finding a bunch of places, and you're going to have to get on a wait list. So just be on a bunch.
Yeah, if you can just get on a bunch, it's good.
That's what I did. I ended up only waiting. I think I first started reaching out to people at the beginning of June last year, and I'm almost positive by the end of the month I had an appointment set for the first time.
Or go to interns. You can call, like, the big counseling centers will usually get like a load of interns, and a lot of counseling centers will charge like a way lower rate depending on the counseling center. Like mine doesn't, which I think is kind of funny, but they are still professionals even though they're still in school and they're still learning, but that doesn't mean that they won't be helpful. And especially since they're still in school, everything's like very forefront in their mind. And I'm like, I have supervision like 5 times a week. So if you're seeing an intern, they're like very intensely supporting. So if you can find an intern, you might be able to get in a lot faster.
Yeah. Somebody asked if that's similar to cops who are Mormon. Anecdotally, we grew up in a ward where there were 2 cops, and both of them were gigantic pieces of shit.
Wife hitters, so, at least one.
Giant pieces of shit. And that was before I hold the beliefs that I hold now. But, yeah.
Yes, follow up. Ugh, getting on a waiting list forever, and then they tell you that it's broken and you have to start all over again. Oh, my God. Melanie. Yes, it's hard to be an intern. It is. It's hard because, you know, there's this, and even when I worked at my last job, I have a lot of older people that I would see who, you know, right off the bat question you because you're young and you haven't been in the field very long. But you've got to learn to push on through that because you still are a professional. You have a lot to learn, but obviously you're getting there. What are my post-grad plans? My post-grad plans make me kind of nervous because I'm at a really phenomenal private practice right now, and if we were staying in Utah, I would absolutely stay where I am. But I've got to find a private practice in Colorado. So if you have connections, let me know, because that will be something that I will have to figure out. It's a lot more challenging to find a job at a private practice versus like case management at like a hospital. But yes, sliding scales too. If you can't afford therapist traditional rates, they usually have a sliding scale so they can kind of like knock you down to a lower rate.
Yeah.
So you can ask about that.
I'm all for every professional getting that bag, but I also think that everybody deserves accessible therapy. So I say ask for it.
It's usually a racket, especially with insurance, and my soapbox is don't go to a coach. And I know that's an unpopular opinion with a lot of people, but my main reason that I say don't go to like a life coach or somebody is they're not bound by confidentiality. they are not held to a certain standard of ethics. Like me as a person, like I have to get a license. I answer to supervisors. So if I fuck up, I get in trouble. Versus a coach, like they can do whatever the fuck they want. There's no regulations, there's no rules, there's no ethics, and they're not obligated to keep any of your information confidential. Whereas with me, like if you were seeing me, like I get subpoenaed before I share any information, unless it's obviously like a self-disclosure or harm or intent to harm somebody else. But like I'm obligated to keep that shit on lock. Life coach doesn't do that. Sorry, going on a mental health little rant here. Carly, grad school, then coming back. I feel that. Yeah, the fact that they don't have an ethics board is like super concerning.
Yeah.
Because like with Jody, she did something way the fuck unethical and she got her license taken away, at least temporarily. It was reinstated. They usually give you like a list of things that you have to do so you can get your license back, but she was disciplined.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Not too long ago, there was a whole deal with an ex-Mormon Jesse Funk, who was putting on like especially for youth, is a Mormon thing that they do where kids go to the BYU campus and it's like a week-long kind of camp thing where they just have all this spiritual stuff and whatever. And she was like...
sketchy.
Bless her heart, because she was like, let's do something like that but for kids of ex-Mormons and things, which is just sounds like a fucking grift to me. But that's neither here nor there. But she was like claiming that she was a therapist, even though she
licensed therapist is what she said.
Yeah, even though she had renounced her license because she got disciplined.
Yeah.
A bunch of us found out and were calling her out on her bullshit, and the white woman tears were fucking running, dude. It was really concerning. So people like that, who it's important for there to be regulation.
Well, and she's a social worker,
stuff like that. And
so like with I don't know about like mental health counselors or marriage therapists. I'm not as familiar with them, the LMFTs, but like as far as if you're a social worker, like part of the code of ethics is you can't like ever like be not authentic or honest about your license and the credentials you have. So like if I were to come on here and be like, guys, like I'm a licensed therapist and this is what I do, like if you hear me talking about it, I always say I'm a student, I always say I'm a therapist intern, like you can't misrepresent your credentials because then you can get in trouble.
Somebody said that Ruby's out here, no degree, no license, talking about people's mental health. Yep. Yeah, fuck that. Get out of here with that nonsense. That is not professional. Well, to me, it is not good.
It's even, like, to me, it's even worse for Jody because she knows better. Like, she went to the University of Utah, so she did, I think she's a counselor, though. I don't think she did social work. I'm pretty sure she's a counselor. But she went through a college program. She has a master's degree, I'm pretty sure. So she was licensed by the board. I don't think she has her license anymore. She might have renounced it. But if you have a background in mental health and you're spouting this shit, like, shame on you. Ruby's fucking stupid and she's going to say whatever the fuck she wants. But you have a background in mental health and you're spouting this shit? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's really sad that she would stoop to that level. But honestly, for somebody who breaks or breaches confidentiality, it's kind of part of the whole vibe in a lot of cases.
It is.
Coral asked, just graduated high school, what to do as an adult. I couldn't tell you.
Great question.
We're just hanging on for dear life.
We're all just trying to figure it out. What is my grad program? I am in a MSW, or Master of Social Work program. Yeah. If you have a master's in psych but aren't a licensed therapist or intern,
boo.
Verify credentials. You can ask. The worst that, if you call a counseling office and verify, the worst they're going to tell you is, no, they're not. And then they have a big problem on their hands. So it doesn't hurt to verify.
A bit of a personal question. Do y'all believe in God at all, or did you kind of leave it all behind? Love your videos. I'll let Jordan answer first.
I don't know. That's my answer. It's been my answer for a while. It's still something that I'm navigating. I consider myself a spiritual person. I do not think that essentially life is over after this. I've had a lot of spiritual experiences with like deceased family members and things and deceased friends that just like there's no way, like the things just don't line up. There's no way it's a coincidence. Like it, especially one with my friend in high school who died recently, like it just,
yeah,
it's too spot on for there to be not something after this. And so from that, I gather that there doesn't have to be like a superior being who's holding everything together and has all the cards and is in charge of everything. I don't think that's necessary for there to be something after this. Like, I think we can, I mean, you think about us being energy and you can't destroy energy. So I think we just move on into a different plane of existence.
Yeah.
And there doesn't have to be somebody like holding the rules and is like, you had sex, you're going to jail. You had sex, you're going to hell. Like, you know, does that make sense?
I don't believe that there is a God. And if there is, after Jordan let me know about the 2-year-old who was wandering around yesterday after the parade pew-pewing, and if there is a God, I'm going to fight him, because honestly, that was the most terrible thing. To think about a kid that is the same as ours, wandering around, scared, alone.
Because he just watched his parents die.
Unalived in front of him, honestly. That noise, like a child left alone, that's not a sign of a loving God for me. Especially in the Mormon context, where this always gets me, where a fucking angel with a flaming sword is supposed to kill Joseph Smith if he doesn't marry a young girl, but this kid gets nothing. You've got to be kidding me.
Sus.
So, yeah. So, honestly, I don't see anything wrong in faith across the board. Having faith in the Mormon religion, albeit is still pretty toxic and stuff like that. The major problem with it is the church, because they keep doubling down on stuff.
Yeah.
It's shameful if there is a loving God. Yeah, I agree with you. So that might have rubbed some people the wrong way, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. How hard is it to get excommunicated? It used to be the only way that you could leave the church was to be excommunicated.
Depending on who your leaders are, it's really not hard. But there are some tried and true things like infidelity. Typically, spouses cheating on each other will typically do it. Speaking ill of the Lord's anointed. Yeah,
being outspoken against the church is one of the big ones. That happened with Natasha Helfer last year, where she's a sex therapist, so she teaches sex positivity at the expense of the church, and they excommunicated her ass.
Well, just like we've been talking about, she has an ethical obligation to her clients, and if that ethical obligation doesn't line up with the church,
her beliefs,
her ethical obligation is going to take priority. And so that's essentially what she told people at her disciplinary council, and they don't care. So
there was a gay couple that very recently was excommunicated because of their marriage. They were married to each other, and the church was like, fuck you, we're excommunicating you. Latter Gay Stories, you can find them on YouTube and Facebook, just talked about it. I think they had him on for an interview. I didn't watch it. I'm not a really big fan of the host. I think he's kind of, I don't know, he kind of rubs me the wrong way. I have a lot of problems with a lot of the Gen X Exmos. So, anyway.
Jordan sounds like she's got some witchy senses. I mean that in a good way. I feel like I probably do. I did tarot for a while when we left the church, and, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I was really good at it. I mean, we had one friend from Australia who was not a fan of the whole thing and thought it was complete shit. And then I did a reading for him and it fucked him up, and he still talks about it to this day.
LOL.
So I mean, it's really just, you know, being in tune with yourself and figuring that stuff out. I haven't been into it as much lately, but I will plug, there is a YouTube channel, a fan of ours who has a YouTube channel called Tarot with Ruby, and she did a reading for me that was absolutely fucking phenomenal. So go subscribe to her channel. Again, it's Tarot with Ruby. She's amazing.
What's up, Siobhan? I think that's how you say your name. No Garmy Army. What's going on, No Garmy Army?
How did I get into tarot? Honestly, when I left the church, okay, this is going to be a tangent. when I left the church.
It was before that, though.
I have to go back. My mother is Satan obsessed. It's not her fault. I feel like the church basically made her that way. But her, like, fixation with religion was more, I feel like, out of fear of Satan than it was, like, devotion to God. Like, I know she had that, but it was more, like, fear-based. And so everything that I would do, like, if she had a bad dream about me, she'd be like, what are you doing? Because I had a bad dream. And that's manipulative and toxic for a variety of reasons.
Terrible.
But that's what I grew up with. Like, tarot cards of the devil, astrology of the devil. All of those things invite evil in, invite Satan in, and then it ruins your life. And, you know, she was very, very, very touchy about those things. And so my mom had convinced me so much that I wouldn't even, like, read the ex-Mormon subreddit on Reddit. That's how terrified of it I was. Like, I wouldn't even open it because I was afraid that I was going to, like, invite evil into my life if I read it. So that's where I came from. So when I left the church, I had to, like, unlearn all of those things and, like, try to navigate whether those things were actually true and if my mom was just, like, very mentally unwell in that area. And so I kind of dove into those things to kind of form my own opinion. And so tarot was always something that I found interesting, and it didn't scare me too bad off the bat. So that's kind of what I started with. I'm also very aware and interested in astrology, so that's interesting. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I can probably delve more deeper into things as time goes on, but that's kind of where it started.
Okay, somebody asked about the Gen Xmo. The Gen X Mormons and stuff like that. I will be vague. Just in what I've seen with a lot of the Gen Xers in the ex-Mormon space, I won't say community because honestly, it's a very loose community.
Yeah.
There is a lot of like, not right now. My sister is calling me probably for some math homework help. But there's from what I've seen is a lot of misogyny, homophobia, racism, ideals that a lot of people struggle to unlearn just because, like, a lot of the Gen Xers who were in the church for like 40-ish years, all their life up to a certain point, and they will deconstruct the church, but they're really ingrained in a lot of their other beliefs that they don't touch, that the church has influenced. So there's things that,
and for them it's
just
a lot
rub me the wrong way in a lot of cases.
They have had a lot more indoctrination because they're older, so they've spent a lot more
Yeah.
time in the church, and so there's kind of a lot more deconstructing that needs to happen versus us. I mean, it was a long time. It was 25, 24 years, but for them it's a lot more deep-rooted.
In a way, I kind of don't fault them for it because they were indoctrinated, but when you learn about the truth and when you've realized that you've been indoctrinated, it is now your job to deconstruct those other facets of the indoctrination that got into other beliefs in your life. So when you don't do that, it really kind of it's disappointing to see. So that's just kind of the gist of what rubs me wrong.
Do you think you're a medium of sorts? A lot of time when I was in the church, I mistook a spirit moments with God moments. I think that happens. I think for a lot of Mormons, I think that's why I'm not a fan of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, with Mormonism, because I feel like a lot of Mormons leave the church and every like spiritual inclination they've ever had is bullshit, so they run like the other direction and they're like, everything is off, everything is wrong, there is nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's, and not all of them do that, but I think it's kind of a, how would I term this? Like, it's harmful because you're kind of denying those things that maybe there's something there. But I definitely think that the inclinations and what we would have called promptings at the time are just, you know, spiritual inclinations being connected to something that's larger than myself.
It can turn into a bad thing sometimes, honestly, when they do that. I remember an instance where Glenn Bishop, Jordan actually went to Institute with this guy. On TikTok, he's Beyond God and Religion. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or whatever he does. but he's like a militant atheist, and I think in a lot of ways I am kind of too. But he's talking about shit that he doesn't fucking know about of other world religions. And basically, in one video, he was equating like the Hindu religion is garbage, and look at all this stuff that they do that's disgusting because it's a garbage culture and everything like that. And oh my God, that's the kind of shit with a lot of Gen Xers that I'm like, this is racist. Your atheism has turned you into a racist. Shut up. So,
and for us mental health people, I mean, it's black and white thinking.
Yeah.
Like, we can't hold space for there potentially being any nuance, like it is or it isn't. And when you get stuck there, that's a hard place to be, because there is middle ground. And
absolutely, yeah. We can't just hold like we will talk about Christianity and Mormonism, and like obviously Christians will say that we don't know Christianity because we're Mormon.
Mormons aren't Christians.
Those are more what we have experience with, and I don't want to talk about things that I don't really know about. Only in passing I've learned some things. So
I feel like we can talk about Christianity because we're under the same umbrella. But are we going to go off and talk about Islam? Like, no, that's not our, that's not our area.
There are other people who are more well-versed to talk about Islam.
Or people involved or people who have left. Like, those are their experiences to tell, not ours.
I want to listen to Rhett and Link's Spiritual Deconstruction. I started listening to it the other day, or a while back. I never got a chance to listen to the whole thing, but yeah. So it's important to just talk about what you know. Anything beyond that, you start going into the realm of talking shit on things that you don't like about other religions and cultures just because they're not Western.
Yeah.
So it's important to realize that boundary. What is the LDS Church's obsession with food storage and preparing for every single emergency? I find it fascinating. A lot of it is really rooted in end times doctrine about the Mormon Church, of all the wars and rumors of wars and terrible things that are going to happen right before the second coming of Jesus. So people are like preparing to be able to survive, which, I mean, if you're good, then what does it matter if you make it to the second coming? And yeah, I don't know. It's
very end of times-y, and I think the food storage thing is where a lot of people go down like the preppers path.
Yeah.
Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow were really big into that. And the church has recently, the Mormon Church has recently come out and criticized extreme prepping in the handbook. Yeah. They actually talked about it.
And I think when they say extreme prepping, I think it's more, no, buy the shit out of the stuff that the church sells, all the wheat and dehydrated food and everything like that. Yeah. But we really discourage hoarding guns and ammo and things of that nature so they don't look like extremists. What was the turning point for you guys deciding to leave the church? Was it mutual, or one person wanted to first? It was mutual. We were on the same page.
We struggled with different things. We struggled with similar things, but I think ultimately we were both on the outs, even if it was for like some different things.
Yeah. Basically, since the start of the pandemic. Yeah. It was basically a year until we realized that we were done.
As a member of a sorority and my fiance is in a national fraternity, the whole Mormon Church seems to be a giant frat house with way too much power and influence. It is very much the case. I'm an Alpha Chi. I was a Alpha Chi Omega in college, and our initiations are weird. Not as bizarre as the Mormon temple ceremonies that I went through, but still a little bizarre. Lots of symbolism, dated, kind of tradition-based, and a little bizarre. But definitely the handshakes, the secretive, the whole thing. When I was in college, I lived in the sorority house that was a block away from the university, and our next-door neighbors were Sigma Chi's, and they are, as most are, they're very intense about their initiation ceremony. And so they always keep their like initiation chapter room like on lockdown. And so for the entire time that I was in college, it was always our goal to like get into that room and try to take something, because that was like our whole thing. We would have one person or two people try to go out to every fraternity and try to steal something from their house without it being like obvious. So that was a fun thing. One of my sisters got out with one of the little, what do you call the things that they put on the wall? The animals that are dead.
Oh,
The
a
like
mount.
elf
I don't
things,
know.
the elk things. Like we got out with an elk head once. So man, college was fun.
Interesting stuff. If you went to secular K through 12 school, what was it like going to school with people who weren't believers? We both grew up in not Utah, both in Colorado. So we went to regular ass schools. Probably less than 5% of the population. The people in my class, I could count exactly who they were that were Mormon. And it was, I mean, you were supposed to be kind of like a missionary and act in a manner that was representative of the church and all this stuff. So it was kind of an interesting experience. When I was like a junior in high school, I became pretty disenfranchised with the church because I had a lot of friends who were not Mormons or even religious or anything like that. So I was kind of seeing through some of the shit, and I was like, this is a waste of my time. And then, unfortunately, I fell back into it when I went to BYU, Idaho. It was basically my only option for schooling. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Somebody was asking if you have to have a disclosure statement in case somebody finds YouTube.
So, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain because there's a lot to it. But at my last internship, I did have that happen one time where one of the people that I had that came in to see me did recognize me from YouTube. So there's like a few kind of different ways that you can go about it. But, you know, in the immediate moment, you want to prevent what we call dual relationships. And, you know, obviously it's not ideal to have somebody who is, you know, watches our content and is also our client. But I can only go so far in, you know, the will of the client to disclose that kind of information.
Our client, comrade.
So it's kind of challenging because if they choose not to disclose that, then that's on them. But if I do know about it, then I have to do something about it. You know, he was removed from my caseload and I did not see him and he was passed off to a different social worker. So, I mean, that's why you have supervisors. They, you know, help me handle the situation and move things along. So, but yeah, I think it will become way less of an issue when we move to Colorado because Mormon population there goes down significantly.
Yeah, I think more people recognize us from Mormon stories than they do our regular channel.
I think so, yeah.
Like around here. Joan, I will absolve you of any guilt that you have for using your regular name because you're not being an asshole on the internet. The smoke detector in here is changed. The one out in the stairwell, I didn't want to fall off the ladder and break my leg until after we did this, so I'm sorry. I was not sure if you were going to be able to hear it, and turns out you do. So
of course. We fix one and then the other.
I know. Do you think your content will transition from ex-Mormonish stuff / commentary as you move forward with education into Colorado? If not, if no, why not? If so, what topics would you want to explore? That's a good question.
That is a good question. I think it kind of just depends. You know, we're kind of adaptable. Like we want to. It's kind of hard when you have a YouTube channel because, you know, we obviously have a niche, right? Like we're ex-Mormon religious content, fundamentalism. And so expanding out of that is kind of like nerve-wracking because people come and watch us for specific reasons. So we don't ever want to like branch off too much. But being able to do, like, it is much easier in our experience to do like this style of engagement or like a podcast type thing where you're streaming and you're interacting with your audience live. Like you're still prepping content, but you're interacting with them live because it's hard to come up with videos every week. And, you know, YouTube is challenging because there's an algorithm, and if you're not pleasing the algorithm, then they're going to, you know, we're going to shit on your channel and nobody's going to see it. And so it's really challenging because it's kind of a balance, because we're still small. So we want to make sure that we're still expanding as much as possible. But this has gone really well. There's almost 500 of you here.
And it stayed pretty consistent. It's been right in the range of 475 to 500 the whole time. So I'm glad for the turnout, and this will be available later to watch in case you didn't get the whole thing or anything like that. But
if we could do that more consistently, that would be good. I mean, it would be easier on us as far as content goes, because prepping for videos and things is really like extensive. It's a lot easier to like have this type of environment where we can have like, you know, bullet points and things that we're going to talk about, but we can engage with you guys and kind of like, you know, kind of go the direction that you guys want us to go. So it's like, you know, it's hard. It's a hard balance because we don't want to fuck anything up.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, we're trying to venture out a little bit more. We've been wanting to talk about all kinds of stuff. If you have an idea of something that we should check out, leave it in the comments on this one. You should comment just to keep the algorithm going or whatever. So what conditioner do y'all use?
Amika.
We use the same one, both of us.
Yep.
So
it's Amika, Amika. It is salon grade.
It's fucking good.
It's on the more expensive side. Like, obviously it's going to be more expensive than something you'd like find at Walmart, but the quality is amazing. We just use it's called Normcore. They have a one for color treated hair, but I did not like it, so I don't use it. But it works. It works really good. I use the purple shampoo occasionally to keep the brassiness at bay. But
Amika slaps. Ooh, the Welsh are here.
Hell yeah.
What's good? Love you guys' content. I think the commentary space would be good for you guys. As an ex-fundamentalist myself, I love hearing opinions coming from other ex-fundies. Yeah, we love that. I love finding other ex-fundies too. All the ex-JWs are the homies. It's really great to find. And you start seeing the similarities. Because when I was a missionary, I thought, man, those fucking JWs are so weird. And now I'm like, holy shit, they've got a lot of weird things in common with us. It's just in a different format.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would like to just do like general commentary on, you know, events of the U.S., religion related or not, the happenings of the Fundy community, you know, influencers and shit like that. It's just hard because, you know, we don't know whether it would be, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? If the algorithm would appreciate us doing that. So it's challenging.
Yes, we've already cheered for our
for Jen and James.
We're really excited for them to be back. You know, it'd be cool is to have them on for a live on our channel.
That would be cool.
Because we were on their channel. If they wanted to, I would bring them on in an instant. Oh God, I love them so much. I love James. He's hilarious and just funny, and he's totally my vibe. So I want to do something with them anyway, especially now that they're going to be ramping back up after their absence.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited for the Madison Cawthorn episode from James. Like, come on. I'm so excited.
Oh, I've watched Telltale a couple times. I was watching one where they were doing a JW propaganda video, one of the animated ones for kids, and I was like, holy shit, this is exactly like the blueprint. They probably took off the Mormons, and they just have lower budget for production because it's something I would totally see. Obviously, the content was about birthdays, so that's not something you would hear about in the Mormon church. But
what do you use to film?
What are we filming on? It was an upgrade. We used to use a DJI gimbal camera, which really was kind of shit. We just recently upgraded to a Panasonic Lumix G7, which isn't where I want to be. It is a good intermediate because the lighting in here mixed with the backdrop, which we still need to make some changes to, just did not work with that other camera, so I needed to upgrade once we moved here. Had to pull the trigger, so.
Yeah.
Oh, and we run it through an Elgato Cam Link to get it on here. That's also why I wanted to get the camera so we could do this, because with the old one we couldn't run it to the computer.
Would love a live podcast talking about current events. You guys would kill it in the greater commentary space. That's so nice.
I know. I feel like we would have to kind of rebrand for that to happen, which I would hate, honestly. I love our whole vibe that we've cultivated. It would just be an
expansion.
Yeah. But people would be like, apostates? What? What's up with that? These ex-Mormons talking about all kinds of shit? But
I mean,
I feel like we have the ability. We haven't quite pigeonholed ourselves, but
no, I don't think we have. I mean, religious based, yeah, but we can expand with that. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because we don't want to fuck things up.
Is Amika cruelty free?
I think it is.
Let's look. I honestly don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is. I've never heard the drama about Jimmy Snow. Jen talked about it in her podcast with her best friend. I believe it's the Smelly Cat podcast. She talked about it there.
The Smelly Cat podcast.
It's on the bottle, I'm pretty sure. Wait, go up a little bit. It said something about cruelty. Keep going.
Cruelty free, Leaping Bunny and vegan certified.
Yep. Leaping Bunny and vegan certified. There you go.
They also sell the little that's what I got most recently was little refills in the kind of.
They're like in bags.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly sustainable because
100% recyclable, so that's better than most.
Plastic recycling really is not. It's kind of a myth, but you know, it's a bit of a step up on the hard plastics.
Yeah.
I've had very limited exposure to Mormonism since there's not much where I live, but I was very shocked to hear that there's a temple in my city. I honestly thought it was a JW Watchtower for the longest time. Is that a thing, a watchtower? I thought they just had the Kingdom Halls, but I could be quite wrong. No subgenre is off the table. Oh, fucking any band that I want to recommend, I am going to recommend to you this one right now. Disentomb. The album Misery goes so hard. Another one, A Deep Cut. Abhorrent Castigation is another brutal death metal band that I've found super, super niche.
Yeah.
Abhorrent Castigation. That is probably going to get us struck or something, just saying that. It feels bad.
I've been subbed for a little while, but McKay going off on Bethany moved me into the stance. He got so heated.
I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if I should cut this because I got so intense. I was like, whatever, I'll send it because it's my true feelings. I don't want to be inauthentic. I try to keep everything in. If there's ever jump cuts or things like that, it's usually me cutting out like an inordinately long pause of my brain buffering or like
we don't
a
ever
cough
cut
or something
out.
like that. I try to leave it as much.
Yeah.
Someone else knows Abhorrent Castigation. I was like, I found it on Apple Music. It doesn't say like how many listeners they have. And then I checked on Spotify and it was like the lowest that the listener count can go.
Let's see. How do temple garments and pregnancy go together? They don't, at least not well.
Yeah. They have
nursing
nursing garments, but they're also dog shit.
As someone who was incredibly uncomfortable while pregnant, it lasted probably like 2 months for me before I gave up.
Cowboy hats. I'm going to have to go with pro cowboy hats, not for myself though. Also, no patterns on the cowboy hats.
Yeah, they're throwing up temples everywhere right now.
Especially not stars and bars on a cowboy hat. That's a red flag. That's a big red flag. Greatest thing / most surprising thing you learned about / discovered in yourself since leaving Mormonism. And in myself, I have no idea. What do you think?
Wait, let me read the question again.
Okay, we'll do a couple more. If you have a last second question that you're just dying to ask it. Never heard of Orville Peck. Do you see it?
Yeah. That's hard. I feel like I relied on Mormonism for a lot of like I feel like a lot of the things that I thought were good, like about myself, were like exclusive to Mormonism. Whereas now, like, I see those things as like part of me and are authentically me, and they're not tied to Mormonism because it's just me. You know? Does that make sense?
I like that. I think for me, what the church and the doctrine made me believe about myself as deficiencies were actually me just being self-sufficient. Because I did a lot of not relying on God and things like that. So, McKay's intensity of going off on people is like 75% advice. Up to you guys. Thank you, honestly. I was so done at the end of that. I was watching the end where I was like, ratio plus you fell off. I was like, do I need to cut that too? Because Jesus, I went in. I felt bad because I feel like I made you anxious. Just
no, I knew it was coming. Let's see.
How dare you not wear your garmies your entire pregnancy? I used to.
I know, right?
Because I worked at a tire shop. I used to wear, or in the summer, I would take off my garment tops because my whole torso would break out because I had a garment top and then my regular shirt above it, and I'm working outside. It was the worst.
How did I go from education to social work? I always liked both, to be honest. I knew I wanted to teach, and I knew I also liked mental health. And so I started out with teaching first, and there was a lot, there's a lot of politics in teaching and social work, but there's a lot of bullshit that happens on the education level with administration and things that wasn't super appealing to me. But like the mental health aspect of what I did, because I was the catch-all for the problem students. And so that's what I did with the majority of my time anyway, was like meeting those mental health needs as a sped teacher, which is like not part of my job description, but I was doing it anyway. And so that's the part that I liked the most about my job. And so I was like, if I can do this, like this is the only thing I do, then that's like more appealing to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Kelsey Ann asked if we believe in Jesus. I'm struggling with my faith after watching your videos. I unfortunately am of the belief that if Jesus was an actual person, I think he's vastly misrepresented by what modern scripture is. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So sorry if that is not what you wanted to hear.
Jesus is a hard one for me too. I've read quite a bit. There's a few good books out there about Jesus. There's one that I'm thinking of that I can't remember. If you look up like popular books about Jesus, like from a historical lens,
the Bible,
it should come up. But he basically kind of walks you through the history of Jesus, because I think he was a person, and I think he was a really good person, and I think he taught a lot of great things, but I don't think that there was anything necessarily like, I think he was deified. Like, I don't think there's anything like necessarily holy, like he's going to save the world type thing. I think he was just a really good person, and as time has gone on, it's kind of like folklore. Like, things continued to get assigned to him that necessarily weren't true. Like, especially now, think about all the things that we assign to Jesus. Like, think about just from a girl-defined perspective, like all the things that they say Jesus does. Like, is that really accurate? Probably not. I think he was a person, and I think he was a good person.
Are you thinking of Case for Christ?
Maybe. That sounds kind of familiar.
The author of Misquoting
Jesus is, I think, the one that I'm thinking of. I've always wanted to read Jesus and John Wayne.
Fuck John Wayne. That guy was a racist. But yeah, maybe we should read that.
It's a book that I've been interested in. Let's see.
Katie G, thank you for the super chat. Real Housewives SLC, Lisa Barlow, Heather Gay, discuss. Unfortunately,
Heather has left, right? I think one of them isn't Mormon anymore. One of them owns a tequila company, which I don't know if she is or isn't Mormon anymore. I don't know a ton about them.
I know absolutely nothing about any of the Real Housewives of SLC.
I know like very
regret
little.
to inform. Yeah.
They probably
I'm not a Housewives kind of person.
They probably fall into the influencer category where they get, especially if they are still members, is they get exceptions because they make good money.
Is this a different horny bot? The fuck?
We got a horny bot in here? Are you serious?
Yes. I gotta report this, so please. Pornography or sexually explicit material. Let's see.
Thank you. Learning about the early history of the Christian church was a big part of leading me out of my faith because it's so hard to believe. Yeah, there is. I mean, when you get down to like history and interpretation and language barriers and translation issues and, you know, a lot of the people who wrote in the Bible were very convinced on oppressing women. And, you know, there's just a lot of toxicity.
Is that tequila any good? Has anybody tried it? Or is it just another celebrity?
Well, if she's Mormon, I don't want to buy it.
Horny bot, the next name for the Exmo candle. I will email Jen on that one. That's dope.
You guys are great. Don't be hesitant to try different sides of commentary. At least 500 of us will follow you on different topics. Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate all of you.
What was I going to comment on?
Oh, yeah. Heather was on Mormon stories. I think that's the one that I was thinking of. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you in here.
Do not worry about not realizing we're live. We're probably going to hop off in just a minute here.
Sorry, Rebecca.
But it's going to be, you'll be able to watch it after the fact. And it's not going to be the only time we do this, so don't stress too much about it. So, Lisa Barlow is still Mormon.
Yeah, I don't care what Paul thought. He didn't know Jesus. Yeah.
I know, right?
Fair.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that also annoys me, especially about Mormonism history, is people will cite, like, journals and diaries and things like that. I'm like, have you ever just considered that people fucking lie, even in their journals? Like, I lied all the time in my missionary journal because I didn't want people to know that I was fucking suffering. So, there's also that kind of to consider that, I mean, people can write stuff and it could be a lie. So.
It's true.
Jordan, recommend some music for somebody.
Panic at the Disco, new album coming out in a few
Hi,
months.
Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. I caught the big C, so I've been pretty disconnected. Oh, man. I'm sorry.
R.I.P.
That sucks.
I hope you get better quickly.
Yeah.
Back on your feet. Would
Thanks
love to
for
know
the
if
chill
people
vibes.
can get married in the church but not get married in the eyes of the law to keep their Social Security or disability aid. I don't believe so. You can't be sealed unless you're married by the law of the land.
Yeah. I've struggled with it because I don't experience the way others do, and I think there's fear of dying and being sure and going to hell. Kelsey, I have that too.
Yes.
I have that. Like, when we first left the church, I have that, like, really often. As time has gone on, it's, like, gone down considerably. But it really, therapy, it's a process, getting comfortable with not knowing. A good book that I always recommend is Untamed, by Glennon Doyle. I'm pretty sure that's her name. Untamed is a really good book that I read at the very beginning of my faith crisis that helped me considerably. Dance of the Dissident Daughter by Sue Monk Kidd. That's another really good book. So don't worry. Totally valid feelings. Totally normal.
It's tough.
It's hard. It's a hard place to be.
Yeah.
Don't break a leg. Thank you, that Finnish girl. You are so nice.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. We love all the support. We're super thankful for everybody. Everybody's like, I'm sorry I can't support. You watching is supporting us. So
yeah.
Honestly, we are super grateful for even the littlest things.
Yeah. Our patrons go like the extra mile, and we don't even feel deserving of it 99% of the time.
Yeah, so do not feel bad or anything like that.
Constitution is shit.
Yeah, people are like, we have to blah, 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 the Constitution. Bro, let's just start over.
It wasn't one of the founding fathers like it needs to be updated every 20 years anyway?
Yes, I don't know if that's true or not. Or anything.
I mean, really?
Yeah, I don't know if we would be able to just start over from right now, because I'm like, let's include everybody this time, and there's a lot of people who don't want to include everybody who would be doing the writing. So
I have faith that Gen Z, and I mean really young Gen Z, is gonna burn everything to the ground and start over. Astrologically speaking, it's in the stars. I believe that they can do it. So, but that's essentially where I'm at. That's what needs to happen in order to fix things. Like, it doesn't work, and we've got to start over.
Brazilian person. Oh, I met a Mormon missionary at my city in Brazil. The Brazilian one didn't let him speak to me. Honestly, that probably would have been me. Not getting any words in edgewise because I was fucking terrified to speak Spanish. Write the new Constitution challenge. Coming to a TikTok
Near
for
you
page near you.
That's too much pressure.
All right. I am hungry. We have not eaten dinner. It is 9:00. So I think we're going to end there. Thank you, everybody, for the wonderful comments and questions and bearing with us and tuning out the beeping in the background of the smoke detector. I will fix it. Do not worry. I do not want to die in a fire.
Same. So that's going to get fixed.
So I'm going to go out there and do that right now. You're amazing. Holy shit, the horny bot is back.
Oh my God.
Is this the same one? I'm pretty sure I hid the user the last time.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm learning things today.
Thank you. You are all amazing. We will talk about when we want to do this next, because this is fun. I liked it.
We love it.
It wasn't taxing or anything, which editing can be taxing sometimes.
Because we can just show up.
I just put it on and everything. You just have to deal with my stupid brain buffering and trying to find the words and everything. So take it easy, everybody, and we will talk soon. We love you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
I need to put like a beginning and an end one. I just wanted to have something as like a little splash screen.
Oh, okay.
We will talk soon. We love you.
Bye, guys. Thank you. We still have audio. Yes.
Bye, everyone.